Coldplay reveals an affair at their concert, and the internet is going crazy about it. Astronomer CEO Andy Byron and HR Chief Kristen Cabot were shown on the Kiss Cam at a Coldplay concert, lovingly embracing each other, which would have been fine if they were both not married to other people with separate families. The internet is blowing up about it for obvious reasons, but here we're going to discuss the leadership implications that this has on the organization moving forward, and some things you can do to bounce back from a situation like this. If you get any value out of this video or any of the videos on this YouTube page, please don't forget to like and subscribe and put your notifications on and tell your friends and enemies about the Libretti Leadership Lab. And if you stay to the end and comment the word leadership, you'll get a shout out on a future episode. Love you guys. Stay strong. All right, this is Libretti Leadership Lab number 10 with me, John Libretti. For those of you who don't know me, founder of SPEARHEAD leadership coaching and consulting services. We are the bar rescue of your business. We get into the trenches of your business with you to identify the biggest problems you're having, get really clear on the problems and how they're keeping you from your biggest goals as a business, as a company, and then help you solve those problems by improving your leadership skills so that you can see more long-term success. We also do this on the one-on-one side as sort of your leadership wingman, and we help guide you towards hitting your goals and developing yourself as a leader overall. If you want to learn more, check out our website, www.spearheadleadership.co. Hit us up on Instagram at _spearheadleadership. You can find us here, obviously, on the YouTube page at Spearhead Leadership. We're also available Apple and Spotify, the Libretti Leadership Lab. And then, of course, LinkedIn at at Spearhead Leadership. We got a lot of content there, a lot of ways you can reach out and provide feedback on this show and on our services as well. So check it out. All right. Everybody has seen it already. Coldplay concert Kiss Cam. The memes are all over the internet about these two employees of the company Astronomer being on the Kiss Cam in front of 70, 80,000 people, holding each other. And then when the cam hits them, when the camera's on, they scurry about. They run and hide, clearly indicating that they're not supposed to be together and that they do not want to be seen together. So, obviously, like I said, the internet went crazy. They shot out their speculation, and it was revealed that it was the CEO, Andy Byron of Astronomer, and the HR chief, Kristen Cabot of Astronomer, who were both married with separate families, and they were having an affair with each other in their own company, going to a Coldplay concert together. And in fact, there was the vice president of HR also at the concert with them. That was the girl laughing in. If you saw the Kiss Cam footage, which I'm sure you did, that was the girl on the side, the lady on the side, laughing and smiling and clearly knowing what was going on when the cam hit them. And then even Coldplay sort of knew what was going on when he said, "Hey, don't run away. Oh, these people are either having an affair or they're very shy." And unfortunately, it was the former there. So what people are talking about the family and how that's going to work out and this and that, and that's not the topic of discussion here at the Libretti Leadership Lab today. We're talking about the leadership implications this has on an organization when something like this happens. And there's a lot of people out there that say things like, "Oh, what people do at home it's separate from what they do at their job and a business, and you have to have your home life, you have to have your work life." And while I understand the sentiment there, and I agree that there's a lot of stuff from work you don't want to take home, you shouldn't take home, and I agree that there should be things from your personal life that you don't bring to work, absolutely. but your actions and your sense of morality and ethics and how you follow your values, that's that's a 24/7 pursuit. As as an in anything, as an individual, as an executive leader, anything. That's just your character. And good leaders know this. Good leaders know that their character is vital to being an effective leader, having a good character, what you do all day, all the time, how you follow your values all the time through your actions is going to help, dictate your credibility and your character as a leader. So that's important. But this is a classic case because of who the individuals are. This is a classic case of do as I say, not as I do, going completely wrong, as usual. And this is something you'll hear me say. If you haven't heard me say it already, you'll hear me say it a billion times. The do as I say, not as I do approach to leadership and management is it stops working after kids, after the age of 5 years old, when you're doing with your kids. And that's when people start realizing, like, hey, this doesn't make any sense. Why would you tell me to do it if you're not doing it either? Because after all, we're following your example. Okay. As the leader, your team follows your example. There was an old leadership professor I had from years ago. I still talk to him. He's an incredible leadership theoretician. He said part of one of his axioms was if you tell them, they won't do it. And that was just the short, quick version of explaining out how if you simply just tell somebody to do something and then you don't do it and you're not acting accordingly as well, you're not setting the example with your actions, then nobody's gonna pay any attention to you. They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to do what you say because you're not doing what you say. Well, that doesn't even make sense. Why would I do something? Why would anybody do something that you tell them as a leader if you're not doing it, if you don't want to do it either? Doesn't make any sense. And that's not about tasks like, hey, go type up this report. And then somebody's saying, oh, well, you're not typing up this report. So why would, that's no, that's part of you. That's part of your job, and you're being told to do your job, what you're getting paid for. That's a different story. We're talking about character and ethics and relationship building and those intangibles and soft skills of being a better person and better leader. Actions speak louder than words. Okay, so the optics here are you have a CEO of an organization who is, as most CEOs of big organizations are, do, probably talking a lot about the values of the organization, how it's important to follow the values. And we strive to follow these values, and our mission is to be the best stewards of our product or service to our clients and customers. And we're going to be good people to our customers and our clients all the time. And we're going to hold these values strong and yada 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 yada. Okay? Then you have the chief of HR, human resources, who is the one in charge of making sure the people in the organization are following the company policies. They're not breaking any laws or regulations. They're not fraternizing. They're not having immoral, unethical relationships in the workplace. And then she's also the one to pass the official judgments on whether somebody gets in trouble or not. It has to be disciplined and held accountable for their actions within the workplace. And you have these two people with these roles and responsibilities and saying these things, and then they're going out there and they're setting the worst possible example. They're not following values. They're not being good stewards of the organization, good representative of the organization at all. They are doing the exact opposite of following the values. They're doing the exact opposite of what they're telling their teams to do. And all the words that are coming out of their mouths, all by the wayside when it came out that they were having an affair with each other. And again, your personal relationships, what you do in your dating world and stuff, that's on you. That's up to you. That's your person. That's nobody's business. But when you're married and you're the leadership element, they are the top two leadership roles in that company who are also in charge of making sure other people in the company are following their values of the organization and being good people and not fraternizing and not having inappropriate relationships at the workplace. And they're the ones breaking the values and having the inappropriate relationships at the workplace. And you have to imagine more than one person knew about it, more than that HR VP knew about it. So it makes you wonder, what kind of actual work environment are we dealing with at this organization that the leadership has allowed? Is this going on in other departments? Do the employees think it's okay to have illicit relationships with coworkers, whether you're married or not? Do the values actually mean anything to the organization? Or is it really front-facing words that they post on the wall for their potential clients to see so that they can sell them a product or service? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that actions speak louder than words. Okay. For all the talk about values and leading the team to success and being good people for clients and yada yada yada, all that goes right out the window when you get caught in the act doing the exact opposite thing you're telling people to do. And it is the quickest way to destroy credibility, destroy trust, crush a relationship, a professional relationship, and obviously a personal relationship too, and really set the whole team and organization back a long ways because now that team does not trust their leadership at all. And that lack of trust and that that broken relationship is going to create so many other trickle down issues within the team and the work environment, the culture of that team, unless it gets handled as effectively and as quickly as possible by the board of directors, the other leadership elements that have to step in and take action, quality action and accountability to sort of repair that relationship. Now, you can bounce back from this stuff. You can, everybody makes mistakes. Humans make mistakes all the time. Leaders, employees, friends, everybody, we're all human beings. We all make mistakes. So it is absolutely possible to bounce back from this and repair things over time. It's going to take a while. That is the unfortunate thing that I don't think enough leaders realize, enough people realize, is that it takes a long time to build up a relationship, to build up trust, to build up rapport with your team, to get things in your work environment and the organization running smoothly and successfully and having, a good situation overall. And it takes one instance to ruin that, to crush it, to start you back to zero essentially. And that is very, very disheartening from the employee standpoint, from the team standpoint, because they know, like, we've been working here for so long. We finally got a good thing going. We're running like a well-oiled machine. And then we kind of find out that this guy has been going back on his values, or this gal's been going back on it and not following the values that they've been preaching to us all these years. Crushing. It's crushing. But you can build it back. You have to take accountability. First and foremost, no excuses. You have to take accountability, and the organization has to take accountability if there is higher up leadership, if this is not the business. So this is the CEO of a company for this instance. So, you know, the president or the board of directors or whoever is actually in charge of everything will have to make a decision on how to move forward with this. Now, in this instance, the CEO voluntarily resigned from his position. I don't know if he quit his job totally, but I know he resigned from the role of CEO. Now, that's a step towards accountability. It's not going to fix things overnight, but at the very least it's showing, hey, I made a mistake. And as like I said, as humans, we all make mistakes. Now, what we're going to see from the team, that's, from the rest of the organization, that's to be determined. But there's a lot of people out there on the internet talking about, oh, I don't care that he resigned. He's only sorry that he got caught, not sorry that he did it. Well, that's not for us to say. Okay. Um, Again, now we're getting into the separation of personal and work related stuff here. I don't, not that you shouldn't care about that, but you have to be able to compartmentalize as a team member, and understand that I don't, it doesn't matter if they're sorry that they got caught or they're actually sorry for their actions. What matters is what steps are they going to take to prove that they're learning their lesson and they're going to learn, grow, and improve from this. That's what should matter. And as a leader, that's what you should be focusing on if you make a mistake like this. Again, it doesn't mean you're a bad person all around. It means you made a bad mistake. Okay. And taking ownership and taking accountability is the first and lasting step that you should be taking to help improve, and help repair what was damaged. And it's a long road ahead, and that's really all I have to say about that. It's a long road ahead. It's going to be frustrating. There's going to be fallout all across the board. The implications of this are going to, employees will probably leave different positions. People are going to lose positions within the organization. Probably they're going to be, demoted, promoted, moved to different departments, what have you. Other people are going to they're going to find out who else knew about this. Is this running rampant in the organization? Things like that. That's not to mention the personal side, the family side of things. And again, that's not really what we talk about often here. But from a leadership standpoint, this is why we harp on the importance of following values and being a good leader through your actions, because it spills over into every aspect of your life. We had a whole episode dedicated to the importance of values, understanding the importance of values, and how you should go about identifying your values and following those values. They're your bumpers in on your bowling alley to keep you grounded, to keep you in line with a good quality life as a leader. in life, not just in business, in life. And it was almost 3 weeks after we talked about the importance of values and following them through your actions, do we see a perfect example of what happens when you don't do that. So there needs to be some serious, reconciling, within when you get caught not following the values and how to repair that. It's a tough call. It's a tough thing to deal with because, you're always going to be sitting there Monday morning quarterbacking. Oh man, maybe if we didn't go to the concert, or maybe I shouldn't have done this ever before, at all, and this and that. And you're sitting there second guessing yourself because you know deep down inside that 5 seconds of screen time that blew up the internet blew up a lot of things. It absolutely blew up the home life and relationship with each person's family and children. Their work relationships are all blown up. It created a bit of a mess. It created a bit of a mess. And I can't, unfortunately, this is not the first time stuff like this has happened. We've talked about a little bit about the Enron situation. We talked about things like Bernie Madoff. Like these are organizations and companies run by leaders who were not being the quality example through their actions. And what they were saying about values didn't seem to matter to them at the time. And they were not following those values. They were not using those bumpers in their lanes. And there's fallout from that. And while we did talk about values recently, this was a big, this was a popular topic in the news, the social media news the past week or so. So it's important to it was important for me to bring this up again to reiterate the importance of your actions as a leader that is what's going to build up or break down your team overall. Just like if you have kids, just like how your kids learn from you and they mirror you and they see how what you're doing, how you're acting. It's one of the most like widely known and talked about like I guess proven, I don't want to say theories, but um proven actions is that people learn best through mimicking through your actions. They follow your example by simply telling them, "Oh, go, hey kids, it's time to go read." That's not going to teach them necessarily that reading is good, reading is smart. Go if you go read with them. Hey, let's go read together, and then you sit there and read. Your kid's going to see that and follow you. Be like, "Oh, I want to be like dad. I want to be like mom. I'm going to go read. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to go do this, do that." It's the same with adults, and it's the same with in the workplace. If you're leading a team and you say, "Hey, I want everybody here at 8 a.m." Sign on to their Microsoft Teams and starting to bang out these sales calls or whatever. You better be there by 8 a.m. as well, doing your job as the leader, whatever your roles are, your admin roles are. If you're telling people, hey, there's no workplace relationships, there's no fraternization, you don't date bosses don't date subordinates, this and that, yada, 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 then you don't do it either. Okay. If you're telling people not to do that, you have to follow that example. That's how people are going to learn, grow, and improve. And that's how your team's going to succeed by having a good example to follow. So, with that, always remember be the example for the team that you want to become. you want them to become. If you want them to become successful and high performing, be the example. Show them how to do that. Show them how it's done. If you want them to be pieces of garbage morally and ethically, you can show them how it's done too. I don't recommend that way though. But that's all I got to say about that today, folks. Before we go, very quickly, I always like to talk about this. The big three. It's the part of my core values and Spearhead Leadership's core values. Just part of them. These are the three pillars to staying strong and being a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being and being a better leader overall in life. Number one, exercise every day. Do one thing each day to improve your health, fitness, and wellness, physically, mentally, or emotionally. Number two, the hardest one to do, don't be a negative, crappy person. Be a kind person. When the opportunity arises to be negative or crappy to somebody, when you're angry at them, or even if you're just posting on the internet, take that step back, take a deep breath, take a step back, detach from those negative, angry emotions, and just remove yourself, omit yourself from the situation altogether. It's the hardest one to do because in the moment, it's so difficult to take that step back and detach from those emotions. You want to send out that message. You want that person who said that mean thing to get their comeuppance. I get it. It's a struggle I deal with on a daily basis. That's why I focus on it on a daily basis because it's so difficult and so important. All right, number three, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives. And you can do this by actively thinking about one thing each day, one good thing in your life, and then thinking about what your life would be like without that thing. And you'll be immediately put in a state of gratitude as opposed to taking things for granted. And if you do these three things a little bit each and every day, repetition, 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 you stay consistent by focusing on these a little bit each day, I promise you, you'll be a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being and a better leader overall in life. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Put your notifications on so you know when new episodes drop. Stay tuned for more episodes that are going to have interviews and some free coaching trials on there. And don't forget to comment the word leadership in the comments here at the bottom, and you'll get a shout out on a future episode. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Love you guys. Libretti